It's no secret that there are too few priests available to serve the number of Catholic churches in many regions of the United States. The solutions to priest shortages range from clustering or grouping parishes under shared priests to the most extreme measure of closing and shuttering parishes. Divine Mercy Catholic Parish, located in the northeast corner of the Diocese of Sioux City, Iowa, is undertaking an alternative that has merged 7 parishes into a single community while preserving each church. This has resulted in creating the largest Catholic parish by landmass in all of Iowa. The challenges that come with changing anything were part and parcel of this transformation. The most difficult decision to be made hinged on the reality that 2 priests could not cover the requirements of celebrating Mass at 7 separate churches, spread over as vast a region as Divine Mercy Parish. Thus, the pastoral committee had to choose 2 of the 7 parishes that would continue as Catholic church communities, but at which Mass would not be celebrated regularly. Divine Mercy Parish is led by Father Stephen J. McLeod, a priest in the diocese for almost 30 years, and Father Matthew Salinchus, who was ordained in 2017. They are ably assisted by 5 deacons and a significant number of parishioners from each of the 7 church communities. Here is the story of the yet ongoing transformation of Divine Mercy Parish.
Here at Divine Mercy, we have 1 parish, but 7 local communities. And I think that's important because each one of those communities, are certainly unique in their own way. And that's one of the things that I find special about being able to move from location to location. For Father Matthew and myself, for our 5 deacons, that's a lot of traveling. As a matter of fact, to get from one location to the farthest, it's about a 45-minute drive. And yet there's something unique about being able to go to those individual churches, those locations, because each one has a different flavor to it. You have different heritage, different lifestyles, there's different history in those communities. And I would say those communities here are certainly thriving communities. They are unique in their individualities. The one thing I think all of us agreed upon was that the spiritual health and the well-being of our people was our top priority. So that's where we began to look at what were we going to do, how were we going to meet the spiritual needs of 2,300 families. We realized it was going to be a challenge, and it was. That's one of the reasons why Jesus gave us the sacraments. He said, I will be with you always. And He is. And He's present in all of His sacraments. He's present in His church. The church has been around for over 2,000 years. And no matter what Satan or the devil tries to do to us, how much he tries to divide us, he will never be successful. That doesn't mean he's not going to try. That's why I think together as a parish, we need to keep that in mind, that we will not let anything come between us. We won't let anything come between us and God. We need to remain strong. We need to be strong. Strong in our faith, strong in our practice. I will be with you always until the end of time.
I never want to minimize the sense of loss that many of these people have been experiencing, and that it's, for many, it's generational. It's their lives, it's their parents, their grandparents, families that have been here since the establishment of these parishes. And so there's very much this morning, which needs to be honored and recognized. We do our best to get our faces in all of those places so that people see us at least every other week, for us to be able to have a better idea of where the needs are as we try to get people who are representation geographically from these different areas to be represented on our pastoral council, our finance council, so that nobody's voice goes unheard. That's very important for us. And while this is a difficult fact that has happened, so now the question becomes, what binds us together?
To learn what binds together the flock at Divine Mercy Parish, Mass Transit visited with a number of its members, including high school sweethearts and lifelong members Larry and Mary Hellman, pastoral minister and RCIA director Deacon Bill Black and his wife Mavis, parish member Sherry Boykin and her husband Arvid, Deacon Bruce Helliseth and his wife Angie, longtime members Don and Sandy Long, Stephanie Vion, who manifests powerful love for Divine Mercy, Deacon Don McGuire, who has a passion for serving the least among us, Deacon Brad and Adrienne McGill. Adrienne works in administration at the parish, and Deacon David Penton, whose faith journey is inspiring.
Having been in this parish throughout my whole childhood has always felt home. So even though we left for 20 years, in our head, or my head, I always knew I was going to come back home to this parish. I think it's just from your childhood, you have certain memories, and it maybe creates certain feelings and spirituality that you may have, which you don't recognize until later. So for me, this will always be my home parish, no matter where I am.
Of course, we don't remember the day we were baptized here, but we certainly remember the day that we received our first communion and the nervousness going to our first confession, confirmation. The merger for us was, I consider it a blessing. I think there is a priest shortage. We had no deacons here at St. John's prior to the merger. Now we have a deacon here every Sunday. Our Divine Mercy Parish, there are so many opportunities to attend a Mass on the weekend. I look at the Holy Day coming up and the list of different opportunities to be able to attend Mass. Yeah. It's unlimited.
Change is never easy, not for anybody. And when I think of my own personal connection with St. Cecilia's, I mean, that's my church. That's home to me when I come to prayer. I feel good there. So I can imagine that everybody feels that way about their church. So when they get closed or they merged and there's changes, it's just hard. I think that if we unite as one, as Jesus would like us to do, and walk forward through this, listening and trying to answer the questions that everybody has, and through prayer, that we'll make it. I mean, that's what Jesus wants. He wants us to be unified just for His sake.
We have an obligation to our youth to continue to work together, to journey together, pray together, live our faith in the ordinary of our lives together so that we can thrive as Divine Mercy Parish, so that we can continue to show how God works in our world and how He will never leave us when we're challenged.
When we were told that Sacred Heart would be going to a church building status, it was very tough. And people were very, very upset. I myself am fine with it. I saw it coming just because of the shortage of priests. We all knew it was going to come. I'm trying to show a positive side of this to my fellow parishioners at Sacred Heart.
She talked about the church in Ledyard. It's still there. It's open, but it's part of the Divine Mercy Parish now.
I think we have such a benefit that all of these 7 churches are still able to do all of the things that they were doing prior, because everybody had their mission things they did or community things, fundraisers. At Sacred Heart, we did adopted families at Christmas time, and we're all still able to do all those things.
It's been an experience. Some of it's went really well, and some of it, everybody just loves their church, so it's tough to give up anything. And everybody makes sacrifices, and everybody has benefits from it all. So it's just a matter of your attitude about it, I think, is a big part of it.
Honestly, it's been great because we've gotten to know so many wonderful people through all of that we would have never known, and just meeting all the new people and being a part of all their parishes has been really fun.
It's all good, and it's all a blessing, and people are great, loving, and they want to worship their God. So
I think it's easier to grasp it. Also, when you are traveling from church to church, you kind of get it at that point, that you get why we're doing what we're doing. And by traveling to all these parishes, it does open your eyes.
Part of our calling too is to love your neighbor and be community. I mean, Catholic means community, so it's just our community is a lot bigger now.
I feel lucky because our church is still going. There are people that travel long distance for daily mass, and I gotta hand it to them. That I'm proud of them for doing that, and it's not easy.
It's encouraging, though, to see how full the church is now. It really is. I've seen that happening gradually, and the church is full every weekend now. I love hearing those kids. I don't care. For so many years, we just didn't have kids, and now it's good to hear them. And I've told that to a couple families when they're so embarrassed because their baby cried, their little ones were fussy, and I said, I raised 8 kids, I know what it's like, and I don't mind listening to them. I think we're building a church family again, and I just want everybody to try and to come and be involved.
I grew up here in West Bend and went to Iowa City to the University of Iowa and received a bachelor's degree in psychology. Eventually, when my kids got to school age, my husband and I ended up back in West Bend here. I am loving it. We came back for our kids so they could grow up in a small community. It's a small community, so there's good and bad. Everybody knows your business, but yet it's good. It's like one big family. I had a stroke in February, and our community has really been here for us. We're just all together. It's awesome, and it's good for my kids to grow up and know what it's like to have faith in their families. There's a lot of young families in Divine Mercy. That's the future, and thank God we have that. We know God has a plan, a special plan for all of us. He takes care of us all.
Everybody has been used to having their own parish. These parishes are over 100 years old, and their families grew up there. We have a lot of wonderful people here. We want to serve them as best we can. We are one people. We're a family. This is what Christ teaches, that we are one family. And so
yes, even though we are blending all 7 parishes into one, everybody is the same in the respect that Christ is our leader.
I really believe the thing that we've seen in the last 18 months through all these transitions and all this stuff is that we see it beginning to happen. We're starting to have some traditions. And, I think those will just continue to build. And each one is just a little piece. And that's how you build things. That's how you build a community. That's how you build a Catholic community, is a piece at a time.
Getting to know the different churches, there's something unique about every single one of them. The people have traditions. They have some fantastic dinners, especially here, St. Michael's, Saints Peter and Paul. You know, just being a part of those things, to me, it's been a growing and learning experience because I feel like I've expanded my family just being a part of that. There's a lot of wonderful people throughout all the different churches within Divine Mercy. They all have wonderful talents. We can continue to use those talents and bring those together to become just a wonderful, and I say even a powerful parish.
I really think it starts, and I think we've seen that, is by having priests amongst us now that are joyful.
You know, C.S. Lewis wrote in one of his books, I don't remember what it is, defining, I think it's the Great Divorce, designing hell as being, and making the choice being separated from God and choosing that yourself. Well, I think that's something that a lot of us here in Divine Mercy are doing. We're choosing to say, no, I'm holding on to the past. I'm choosing to say no to the parish, to the Catholic Church, because I want what was. But let's take down the walls and reach out, because in all reality, Christ is there the whole time. We just have to be the ones to reach out and accept his hand. There is heart here. This is home. This is St. Joseph. There's been baptisms here. There's been First Communion, First Reconciliation, Confirmation, weddings, funerals. That is all here. And then to not have the opportunity for a weekly reminder to come into your home and remember that I said yes to my bride in front of that altar, in front of that crucifix, and Jesus was here. I made that promise. That is hard. Now I'm just getting it. I understand. We have a responsibility to help ease the pain and to help people settle.
I would just like to say to everyone that I've gotten to know in Divine Mercy and through all of these, our local communities that I've been getting to know, that there is a tremendous amount of faith that I see, and it inspires me. The way that we are looking to reach out to one another, to be in contact with one another, and to find new ways to bring the gospel into our everyday lives. I see it in the book studies. I see it in the prayer teams. I see it in the visits that people make, the meetings that people have in their own homes, to invite God into those spaces and into those relationships. So let's keep going.
My focus, my vision for Divine Mercy Parish is to get all of you to heaven. And that is going to be the goal of this pastoral team. Whatever we do, whatever we say, whatever we plan, I always want to keep in mind that our goal is to get everyone to heaven. So I say that to all of you that are actively practicing. Those of you who are relatively inactive, who come on Christmas Day, Ash Wednesday, Palm Sunday, because we're giving things away. Thanksgiving. Those that may not have decided, I don't know where I'm going to end up. Please remember that the goal of all of us here, my goal as the pastor, the goal of our team, is to make sure we get each other to heaven. What I would say to those who are uncertain, those who have left, those that are still harboring any hard feelings, is to allow the Lord to go in and to heal those areas and come home, because you can always come home.
That was our visit with Divine Mercy Parish in the Diocese of Sioux City, Iowa. We established some friendships there that will most definitely endure. A strength we encountered at Divine Mercy is the prodigious charity they are modeling in creating a single new parish out of what had been 7 parishes. Some in this new parish remain disheartened with losing the parish in which they grew up in or raised a family at, or where they simply felt most comfortable. For all those who yet struggle with the change, I offer the Litany of Trust, a prayer for those wrestling with the challenge of trusting in Jesus and where He is guiding His church. To the parishioners of Divine Mercy, I submit a sentence from the prayer that reads, "That you will not leave me orphan, that you are present in your church. Jesus, I trust in you." The parishioners of any parish anywhere in the world can rest in the assurance that Christ will not leave us orphan. They can rest in the knowledge that Jesus is present in His church. Thank you for joining us on this visit with 7 separate communities who have become one family. Thanks for watching our episode to this point. If you'd like to support Mass Transit and our efforts around the country, please hit the like button below. Please subscribe to our channel. Please leave a comment. And please share this video far and wide with all of your friends and family. Most importantly, please pray for us. And please know that we are praying for you. God bless you.